Hey there, and welcome back to the Hardly Late Show. I am your host, Chandler. Hope you're doing well. I am also doing well as well. Had a great few weeks. I went to Colorado about 2 weeks ago to visit some friends, and it was amazing. Full of love. We just caught up, had a blast. And a really huge highlight was I went hiking like as an event for the first time. I've never actually been out in nature to do the hiking thing, so it was really cool. Seeing nature in HD with my own eyeballs was breathtaking. I surprisingly survived. I thought I was gonna be super out of breath the entire time, but it was great. I feel like I acclimated really well to the Mile High region. Yeah, totally would love to do that again sometime. But yeah, it was a really horizon broadening experience, and I think I've mentioned before when I went to Florida episodes ago that is kind of the first step of feeling more encouraged to do more travel and to explore more and just try to make the most out of my life while I can. So yeah, when I was doing the hiking, and I really got to it was one of those. It was kind of cheesy, but you're in nature, so you kind of feel one with nature. And personally, I felt really small, but in a good way. I'm just one part of a bigger system, and kind of understanding that this whole natural ecosystem that I was going into had existed many years before I came along and will exist many years after I'm gone. And I guess some people might have an existential crisis about that, but for me that was just kind of affirming in a way. And it just made me think wow, this whole nature thing is a system, and it's self-sustaining, and it's supporting itself, and it's why can't I have that in my life? I mean, not an ecosystem, but you know how can I sort of feel like I establish more systems for myself so I feel a little bit more grounded, if that makes any sense. But like I mentioned before, perfectionism can kind of get in the way sometimes, and I think when I do try to set routines and systems that kind of go overboard or swing between extremes, where it's I'll do something cold turkey, quit something cold turkey, and then a month later I'll just crash and eat everything, and that's not sustainable. So I'm trying to just I don't know how to do it. This is not a Chandler has the answers kind of episode. This is very much a workshopping, spitballing kind of thing. But I will give myself some credit. I do have one routine that I do regularly, and that is journaling. And I will pat myself on the back because before I would say before this year, I really had a hard time doing that. I used to journal in high school occasionally, and I tried again in college, but I just never really stuck with it. I think because I just sort of had the expectation that I would always have something really insightful or I don't know, poignant, or something worth journaling about, and I guess I just never really committed. And it's kind of nice now now that I'm much older. I feel like I have more awareness than I did when I was younger, so it's a lot easier to journal and sort of recount my experiences, and also kind of connect it to past experiences, and just glean a greater meaning out of it. It also helps that when I do journal, it's more prompt based, so it gives me something to sort of chew on while I'm writing. I feel free writing, free journaling is a little bit harder. But yeah, I'm always looking to improve myself. That's the name of the game here. So I'm just trying to think of ways that I can just establish some sense of routine. I don't know. I don't know. Well, I will say when I was a little bit younger, about 10 or so years ago, I used to go to the gym all the time, every day essentially. And I got into really, really good shape. But now that I'm older, it's I don't know if I have it in me to do that. And I don't know. I think I've had many false starts and failed attempts of getting back into the gym over the years. And I'm still currently paying for a gym membership, and have not touched the inside. I have not lifted a weight in 6 months. This is not like a self-dragging episode either, but I don't know. I guess I'm trying to hold myself accountable in some way. But I think maybe looking back at my previous behaviors and patterns, I think if I don't throw myself into the deep end in terms of like starting a routine and just sort of like do baby steps, which sounds like common sense, but I never do it. So it's like clearly it's not that common. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should not, maybe I should stop just like focusing on going to the gym. Maybe I should do something outside of the gym, like, jogging or like power walking. I don't know. Okay, maybe if I just sort of like go to the gym like twice a week and then I do something like not super high impact and then just sort of like work my way up until I feel a little bit more comfortable and like adapted, then I could sort of like slowly increase the intensity. That might work because previously when I would go to the gym, I would like, do all this like preliminary research about like, oh, what workouts can I do? Like how many sets should I do? And then like I would just sort of like go super ham and then like after a week it's like I don't want to go here anymore. I'm exhausted. I'm like scared straight. I'm shooketh. And I just kind of like don't go back for a very long time. So, I guess that's an idea. What else can I do regularly? Well, I guess the first step to establishing a routine is to have a goal. So I guess, at least with the journaling, my goal was to, I wanted to sort of chronicle my life because I kind of felt like for a very long time, when I was in like survival mode all the time, I was just sort of like on autopilot and just sort of floating through life and just trying to survive until the weekend. And, it's hard to remember many of those days just because I was just trying to get through it. And I think journaling has helped me a lot with that. And it's nice to kind of look back and compare to my present self and see how much progress I made, or like dreams I used to have that I want to revisit, or dreams that or things that I was doing at the time that I need to, cut off and stop doing. So yeah, that was one goal. So I guess I really do need like a actual fitness goal instead of just like going to the gym. I'll think about that. Another goal that I had was that I wanted to do more like creative writing. Like journaling is a really good start to that, but like, I've always wanted to kind of like do more like prosy kind of stuff, or like maybe even like screenwriting or anything like that. And I think if I want to do that, I need to have a regular writing practice, which is hard because it's like, I have my 9 to 5 and, I get writer's block and it's like, oh, well, what am I like going to write about? Or what if it's not good enough? And I know that's definitely like perfectionism coming out. And I think I should just start writing anything and just get all of like the crappy ideas out of my mind first so I can actually get to something good. So I think I will try to write for at least half an hour every other day. That sounds doable. I think I can do that. I think like committing myself to like, oh, I have to do this like 1 hour every day, nonstop, without fail, is just another form of perfectionism. Because if I don't do it every day, then I feel like, oh, well, I didn't do it, so there's no point continuing. So just throw the whole goal away, So I'm going to try to do something a little more sustainable. I will keep you updated because, yeah, that's the point of this show. It's just going easy on yourself. If you have a goal, it's never too late. And you just, get in there, get back on that horse. And I've fallen off the horse many times, especially when it comes to like at least my fitness goals. And I think another part of that is I'm constantly currently comparing myself to back like 10 years ago when I did have time to go to the gym all the time and get in really good shape. And I think part of me needs to sort of let that go and be like, Chandler, yeah, you really put a lot of effort in there at that time. That's an accomplishment. But realistically, you may not be able to get the exact same body that you had 10 years ago. So what can you do today within the bounds of your time, energy, and bandwidth, and just do the best you can with what you got, as opposed to trying to achieve a former perfectionist goal that you had back when you were like neck deep into perfectionism. So that's been helping me a little bit too, in terms of like getting more encouragement to go back. Also understanding that like I'm just competing with myself. So, I can go at my own pace and I don't have to have a certain body by a certain date or be able to bench press a certain amount of weight by this time of year. I think that just kind of is setting myself up for failure because, what if I don't meet that? Then I might just be more discouraged. So, yeah, I think what I'm learning is that having routines is kind of helping to keep me in balance and not be so compelled to swing between extremes, and not jump in the deep end of something that I set out to do. So then I get overwhelmed and want to give up. So yeah, that's what I'm working with right now. And I think before I even step foot in the gym, I should probably think more about my diet, because can't really lift a lot of weight if I'm eating out of a garbage can. So I kind of want to get into a regular habit of cooking for myself, having healthier snacks within arm's reach, and as opposed to like, I guess this is just like, exposed Chandler episode. I eat a lot of sugar. I love sugar so much. It's so good. And I like to have tea or coffee in the morning and have a sweet little biscuit on the side. And it's really good, but can't do it every day. And that's something that I have to also come to terms with. Maybe I can bake my own lower sugar alternatives, but that's a lot of work. But yeah, getting in that habit and routine of having more healthier options at home, so I'm not also compelled to escape my apartment and go buy junk food or fast food, which not only is that bad for your body, but it's destroying my wallet, because what's really annoying is why are bad habits easier to maintain than good habits? It's not fair. Who created the law of reality around that? They need to be well, I don't want to incur the wrath of any higher power, but it's unfair, okay? It's really unfair. So yeah, in conclusion, Chandler has established about, I think, 3 goals right now. So he wants to write regularly. He wants to exercise regularly, but obviously not too extreme. And he also wants to cook healthier food more often to facilitate going to the gym regularly. So I will keep you updated on those things. I promise I won't speak in third person all the time. But if you have any advice or experiences or strategies around establishing healthy, balanced routines in your experience, I would love to hear about it. You can always reach me at hardlylateshow@gmail.com. But of course, no pressure, no rush. It's always a good time. You're hardly late. Bye for now.